Whoever, who remembers getting this them going. The art was so epic on the lawn, very epic. Anyways, so these are the Thundercats. Now let's break down the Thundercats. Thundercats were a show in the 80s. It's my time. This was the time where I grew up watching cartoons, and Thundercats, yes, was one of my favorite shows ever. Had all the figures. I think we never could find Wily Kit, Wily Cat. But of course, I had everybody. I loved Panthro. Lionel was my man. Loved the glove. I don't know how many times we broke my sword, I guess. I get reminded about it all the time still about my dad. Thanks, Dad. About how many times he had to rebuy that sword. The sword of Omen, right? Like, I haven't watched it forever. But again, loved it. They had great villains. It was just cool. I love the way it looked. I think they had a really cool concept. I remember having the comics, and I remember it was really weirded out as a kid because they were all like naked in the beginning. Because like they're when they're getting, when they're leaving their planet, and they're all in there. Like I remember thinking like Chitara, who naked. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there, but yeah, it was weird, but it was an interesting comic as a kid, and kind of just followed the cartoon, but I didn't really get into the comic really. But was obsessed with it. Thundercats still to this day. I'll rock them. I'll wear shirts, and some people I love them. But here's the thing: there's a new Thundercats coming out, and everyone is losing their mind. All it sounds like is a bunch of babies, but again, I understand where they're coming from because Ninja Turtles just got announced. We got a few pictures of that months ago, and I feel like they're changing like a lot about the cartoon, and the anime is pretty crappy. But let's be real. Ninja Turtles has so many different iterations. I don't mind that they are going to probably do one I'm not the biggest fan of because we've had so many good ones. I love the Nickelodeon one. The Nickelodeon one paid so much homage to the comics, the old cartoon, just everything. People knocked that one down when it first came out, and that one was a really good one. They did have some lackluster looks to some people like Bebop and Rocksteady, and the way their origins and how Dog Pound turned into Razor. It was kind of funky, but I mean, overall, it worked. It was a great cast. It was awesome. So now we have Thundercat. Don't. First things first, I want to remind everybody we are adults. And granted, I just ranted off about Ninja Turtles, watched it like it was the Bible movie in picture. But yes, it's nice to watch it with my son, and of course I'd watch it on my own because it's Ninja Turtles, and I'll be an old man still watching anything Ninja Turtles because I just love Ninja Turtles. That being said, this happened slightly when Teen Titans Go came out. They went with a sillier version, but Teen Titans Go, without you getting the butt hurt of what you have with Teen Titans, such a good series, and Young Justice, but taking it as it is, it's a really good show. It's really funny. It's done right. They poke at the right characters. And we get to see my kid gets to get into it a lot more than other. And I think it's a good jumping point to, my son's 5. He can watch it and unfollow it because it's not complex stories like we have in the other ones. And then when he's at the age where he should be watching the other Teen Titans, he can actually grab the comics and pick them up. And I think that's the goal. And to be honest, it's really well done. I remember from the beginning, Teen Titans Go was just slaughtered. People hated it. I watched it and I was like, this is funny as hell. This is hella funny. And I can't hate on if they did a good job with it. Now, granted, people will force themselves not to like something just out of spite. They won't even watch it and say they hate it. And that's fine. That's cool. You could do what you want. But here's the thing. Thundercats sucked. Okay? As an adult, watch Thundercats. I did it. I regret it. It ruined the way I thought of things. things were a lot better before that. It's really bad. The story's horrible, god awful, horrible. They don't use characters right. They look awesome. The art is awesome. Animation is awesome. But God, man, it's such a god awful show. It, it hurt. It did. That's like, they say don't meet your idols. Like, don't go back and watch old cartoons that you can't remember, because it's god awful. I never got into Transformers, never got into G.I. Joe, never got into He-Man. I think I collected some He-Man toys and watched a little bit, but I remember liking the movie a little bit or something like that. But Thundercats was my jam. I watched it like crazy, and the fact that as an adult you watch it. So here's the thing: what are they shitting on? If they're ruining your childhood, give me a fucking break. You can always go back and watch the old ones. This is for a new generation that they're going to try to do something different. Granted, it may not be something we like, I like, who knows. But my biggest thing is, the art is funky. I'll give you that. It looks like Clarence and kind of Gumball-ish. Even a little bit of Steven Universe. And here's the thing: all those shows are phenomenal. If no one has watched it, that's on you. But again, I know we're adults here. We don't really watch cartoons, but I've watched a lot of those ones. Steven Universe is a great, very complex story, and simple enough for children to follow, but at the same time, it's got a lot of good overtones and very smart in the way they handle things and deal with things, especially the loss of his mother and the fact that he carries her loss, Joel. And then Clarence is just a really awkward, goofy, Napoleon Dynamite-ish cartoon, and Amazing World of Gumball is just great. These shows are very underrated. If people have seen them, they're going to tell you, and they watched it, they're going to tell you that they're actually really good shows. So it looks like they're taking the art style kind of from there. It does bug me a little bit. I don't like it, but again, it's going to be a whole different take. I don't expect them to look anything like their old ones. When we got the, which one was it? Look, comparing right here, like Tigra, or Tigra's, and I've been doing hero clicks. Tigro looks dumb. Super dumb. I totally agree. He looks badass on the left. Reminds me of Wolverine in a way. This new one looks dumb. The hair looks dumb. Everything about it. It does suck. The look. But will I think it's a bad show because of the look? I'll tell you what, if you're that tied to Tigro, where you're that huge of a fan where it just like, I can't even look at this, I'm sorry, but there should be no one that big of a fan of Tigro. There's nothing to follow in his career besides the first one we got, and then like the 2000 and what something one we got. So for me, it's like I can't see. If a guy had Leonardo tattooed on his arm, I get it. I feel you. I feel the turtle power, man. Like you've been through it all. You've seen it all. You've watched the cartoons in the 80s and every movie and went through all the heartache. But like Thundercats, we literally have had two different cartoons. One was really bad. And then the next one that came out was not horrible. It actually had a really good story, but no one watched it. The animation was decent. It took more of an anime-ish kind of a look in a way, and that's really doesn't do it for me, but I would still get into it because of the fact nostalgia. But the story did take a lot and revolve around Tigro. So I can see people kind of jumping on that bandwagon, but there's no way in hell you're gonna sit there and be like, I was ride or die with him forever. It's like you saying Street Sharks, the main character who I can't even name is your main dude, and you're so upset the way this guy looks, since Tigro looks like that, which is pretty god awful, and you're that upset. Now I could be upset with the new Raphael look because I've been with Raphael since Tigro's time, but we've done a lot with them. Tons of comics. Like I said, Thundercats have come and hit and miss. They did have a couple series. I think they did one with Boom Studios. Can't remember. But I just think we need to give it a chance. And every person I've talked to, I've literally been like, have you watched it as an adult? Because I think you're just getting the nostalgia going on here. That's all I keep thinking. You're getting the nostalgia, upset, And someone shared a picture of the Ghostbusters and drawn the same way. And again, if it's a way to get Ghostbusters back on and it's good, I don't care. If it's funny and, you don't have to make them. Long as they're still ghostbusting, that's cool. Long as Lionel still has the Sword of Omen and we have Jatara and Snarf, annoying as he'll probably be, and Panther, as long as we have all the guys and they're telling us somewhat stories, and the guy Victor Court, I believe, is behind it. He's super into it. There's a really good video of him talking behind the scenes. The dude knows it's Thundercats, so that's always a good thing for me if someone knows the comic. There's different from being passionate about your project and actually knowing about your project. Sam Raimi is passionate about his Spider-Man products, but he doesn't know much of Spider-Man. Not the way you would think. It's a little bit different. So when he throws Venom in a movie just because he wants to shut up fans, he can still be passionate behind his movie, but he's not really quite understanding that's not the way Venom should be treated, and Sandman was all bad. That's a whole different thing, whole different ramble, whole different rant. But with that being said, I have been saying we're going to start jumping on TV, movies. Hopefully I could get a couple other guys jump on here to do different ones for them. And this is one that I was going to wait for Deadpool 2, which has been crazy back and forth. People liking it, loving it, better than number 2, about equals number 2. It's trash, totally trash, it ruined characters. That'll be a fun one to get into, and I'll break down that one. But today is just Thundercats and the upset and the rage over the new Roar series. And all I'm saying is let's give it a chance, check it out. And this is coming from Thundercat fan. As a kid, my 3-year-old self is remembering all this cool stuff and hoping I just get to see some things, some throwbacks, and it looks like they're going to. Like, the guy he likes the world, and that's the cool thing about Thundercats. They had a really cool world with a lot of cool characters, and same with the villains, but they never were used properly. And if you watch any of the old ones, they were very bumbling, very idiotic. They just weren't right. They just didn't do it right. So even though you're thinking this may not do it justice, it may give it its due, and we may actually have kids wearing Thundercat shirts. Again, maybe not for your reasons, but you could show them the old garbage one, because I'm sorry to break it to you, you're going to bore the fuck out of them. That's just the way it is. The old one looked great, beautiful art, cool characters, great voice acting, amazing voice acting, but the stories were god-awful. It was meant to sell toys, and that's what it was there for. I had all the toys, I'm sure you had all the toys, and when they made the new one, it was the same thing over again. They were trying to make the toys, but this time they did try to give a background of the story, but it became too much for fans, and they just didn't want to follow it because of what they're doing now. They want to push it away. Here's the thing. With this new lineup we have with Cartoon Network and stuff, they can actually get the views because children nowadays watch everything 24/7. My son will have a channel on all day, and they will get the ratings and they'll get the recordings. We record Teen Titans Go and things like that, so this will be here. I don't think it'll be something that will get canceled right away or anything like that. I can see it going for a couple seasons until it runs its course. But let's just watch it, check it out. I'm sure I'll come on here and I'll review it, and if it's funny, which is I'm looking forward to, and if it has a cool enough action, I can ignore these designs, especially this one. But hopefully Tigro gets more of a poof going that way. But it does look bad. I will not lie to you about that. But I'm not going to judge it based off that. I want to see the story's good enough and captivating enough for an adult dad watching with his son, and if we could both enjoy it, and that's how I'll judge it. So thank you guys for watching. That was a ramble on Thundercats Roar. Hopefully we'll get the episode coming soon. It's 2019. We've got a little bit time to wait for it, but when it does, we will talk about it then, and hopefully people will like it. We'll see.